The Waterberg Plateau is a national park with towering sandstone cliffs high above the plains of the Kalahari of eastern Namibia. It is a sanctuary for rare and endangered game species and plays a vital role in breeding species for the restocking of other parks and conservation areas. Many endangered animals such as the black and white rhinos have been relocated to the area for protection against poachers. In order to supply a never-ending ivory demand in Asia, poachers are using drones to locate rhinos and elephants. The Namibian government, together with nature parks and private initiatives, are also using drones and other technologies to keep track of endangered animal populations.
The landscape is ideal for drone photography, and though the granting of a drone permit with the Namibian Federal Aviation Authority is a long process, they usually grant it before arrival to the country. Except that in our case, we had not yet been given the permit. We were 3 days into our trip. We were getting anxious. As we drove along the rising skirts of the plateau, with looming rock walls, the idea for our first drone shot began to form. Early morning, we decided to fly the drone. We stared at the screen in shock. We couldn't believe our eyes. The only thing that we could determine was that the drone had flown to a distance of 1,247 meters and then crashed. With almost no hope, we decided to look for help at a nearby resort. We found Efalio, a ranger that was willing to guide us. Without a whisper of warning, we had passed from passive to active actors, thrown into the unknown. Headlong into the savannah, blindly looking for a tiny flying camera. It was a crazy idea. Without contemplating what we were doing, we dived into the bush. Ifalio in front, forging a trail by beating and swatting at bushes, waist-high grasses, and thorn-covered branches. The deeper we went, the tighter the bush became. As our trek became steeper, acacia trees began clotting together, creating a mesh of bristly limbs. The ground became rockier, and the grasses turned to stiff, thorny-tipped cacti that clung to our clothes. After hours of tripping over roots and rocks, squinting our eyes looking up at the treetops, trying to identify this tiny gray machine, we climbed up onto a large rock, with the stone wall of the plateau behind us and the expanse of the Kalahari stretching below. That was the moment we lost hope. Ironically, we had ended up physically coming to see what we had wanted to see from afar.
Nuestro guía, we lost the whole thing.
Yeah. Guess what? Just got the drone permit.
Oh no. That night, the skies opened up and let down a torrential rainfall that engulfed the plateau. It occurred to me to look for a how to find your drone video. Almost the first video that appeared was of a man who had found his lost drone by using the GPS coordinates of his last flight path that was saved on the drone's application. In growing excitement, we sent the coordinates to the rangers. Early the next morning, we headed over to Waterberg Wildlife Resort to catch up with the rangers.
Hey. Wow! A ver, pa, levántalo.
Came with a lucky man today.
Hey! Wow! Okay, bravo! Yes, we found the drone. Bravo, you guys. Bravo, good job. Yes, bro, a little bit. A ver qué tal. Bravo, you guys.
Este es el team. Acabamos de llegar finalmente de haber encontrado el dron. Wow.
mother was shot at a farm. So then we got dead ones when they were three days old.
3 days old?
Yeah,
oh, wow. Why was the mother shot? She ate
some sheep, yeah. The problem for the cheetahs is they kill more than they eat. So here, 200 kilometers west from here, 2 cats, they killed 170 sheep one night.
No.
One night?
Yeah, but they kill more than what they can eat.
Just for the fun?
For the fun, yeah. So that's why some farmers shoot them.
She's a little bit, she's still young, no?
Yeah, it's 2 years.
2 years?
Is it female or a male?
It's a female.
Oh, big house cat.
Oh.
Is the brother, sister?
Sister. You just check where the meat is.
In 1990, Laurie Marker, a zoologist from the United States, moved to South Africa, now Namibia, to found the Cheetah Conservation Fund, an initiative that promotes research, conservation and education to ensure the survival of this majestic predator.
Namibia is home to the largest existing cheetah population. Today, less than 10,000 cheetahs exist in the wild. In the 1980s, farmers of southern Africa shot thousands of cheetahs. As they mainly hunt during the day, they are more conspicuous and are blamed for the majority of livestock deaths. though surveys done by the Namibian government has shown that cheetahs are responsible for less than 3% of the deaths.
So cheetahs have a very slim body with a small head to break through winds, and they do not have collarbones. Their arms are only attached by muscles to their body, making them very flexible as well. And the cheetahs are the only carnivores that have semi-retreatable claws. So they are similar to dogs. They don't go back like domestic cats or other carnivores. So they use those to hold grip of the ground while running their total speed, similar to athletes with their spiky shoes. The cheetah can run up to a total speed of 110 to 112 kilometers per hour, where they can accelerate from 0 to 84 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds.
Cheetahs are found primarily outside of protected areas, with approximately half of the country allocated to arable land, the majority being privately owned. Habitat loss, the illegal wildlife trade, and human-wildlife conflict are driving the species to its end.
Okay, 2 males.
They're much bigger.
Yeah, you see, much stronger than the others. Eat faster, move faster, temperament a little bit stronger. They were born on the farm by accident. The parents were tested not fertile, and I proved the university wrong.
The CCF has a model farm on their land, where they invite farmers from around the country to see how they can better protect their livestock from predatory animals.
The CCF breeds Anatolian and Kangal shepherds, breeds that for millennia have guarded small livestock against wolves and bears in Turkey. The dogs are placed with Namibian farmers as puppies. They bond with the herd and use their imposing presence and loud bark to scare away potential predators. As a result, there has been a marked reduction in human-wildlife conflict.
They use the tongue to scrap the meat from the bones.
She likes, she thinks you're...
Okay, just stand up.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Just stand up. Always be higher than the cat.
Otherwise she thinks you're food.
Otherwise you become dessert.
Otherwise you'll be dizzy. Wow. Meow.
Okay.
While the cheetah took 4 million years to develop into the unique species it is today, mankind needed only 100 years to bring it to the edge of extinction. Conservation, after all, is about numbers. Every individual carnivore that can be saved from persecution adds to the breeding population. We head northwest into Kaukoland territory, one of the most remote parts of the country, bordered by Angola and the Kunene River.
The snaking body of the Kunene River serves as a natural border between Kaokoland and Angola. The river creates a lush, green belt in this otherwise bone-dry region.
Amazing! Namibia is one of the driest places on Earth with so much water.
Kalau bisa desinaran. Hanya biar
The Himba still maintain their traditional ways of life today by breeding and herding their livestock to different locations throughout the year to graze.
ini nambah lagi baja.
Himbas are known for their beauty regime, as they cover their skin and hair with a red mixture called ochise, made of ochre and butter fat. It is used to protect the skin from sun and insects, and to perfume the body. Rubbing their skin with this mixture is part of their daily morning ritual. Himba women do not use water for washing. As they live in isolated desert regions, water is a precious resource that is reserved solely for drinking. Jewelry and headwear play an important role in their culture, as they reflect the status of a person. Many Himba women fix hair extensions made of goat hair to their natural hair, which is then applied with ochise. This hairstyle shows that the girl has reached puberty and is now considered a woman. She keeps this hairstyle throughout her adult life. Himba women perfume themselves with a mixture of aromatic tree roots and herbs that are crushed together using a hot stone, and then burning them to create a heavy, perfumed smoke. They sit very close to the fire, covering themselves with a blanket to absorb the scent. The reason behind this custom probably traces back to the days of great droughts. Before a woman conceives, she is expected to hear the song of her unborn child, and after hearing it, she has to teach it to the child's father so that during mating, they may sing together to welcome the unborn child. This birth song is then sung during all significant developmental phases of the child.
Today, most of the Himbas that live in this area are descendants from a group of Herero people that crossed over the Cunene to Angola in the second half of the 19th century and joined with the Bushmen in southern Angola. Considering the region's isolation, its inaccessibility and history of underdevelopment, the Himba culture has remained unchanged for hundreds of years. Himbas face discrimination due to their ancestral way of life, especially with regards to their partial nudity. As the modern world closes in, the Himba often have to negotiate the gap between their traditional culture and consumer society. Excessive drinking in particular has been exacerbated by the unscrupulous exchange of livestock for alcohol from traders coming from both Namibia and Angola. Himba leaders have also expressed their discontent about the permanent schools set up by the Namibian government, as they contend that the culturally inappropriate educational system is a potential threat to their identity.
What is her name?
Kanjipi.
Kanjipi?
This one he mixed together.
Because this is it's liquid, no?
You can see.
Rouge.
Now Himba.
Now Himba.
As we drove south towards Twiffelfontein, we were stopped at the Red Line, also known as the Veterinary Cordon Fence, a disease and pest exclusion fence separating northern Namibia from the rest of the country, extending over 1,000 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean to Botswana.
Created in 1896 under German and later South African colonial administration, the line was able to establish effective European-style police control. Generally, with some exceptions, the boundary separated indigenous African groups in the north from white settlement areas in the south.
Today, south of the fence, commercial farms are mostly owned by white farmers. In the north, farmland is communal and operated mostly by black farmers. As a veterinary border, the line is intended to serve as a boundary that strictly separates healthy livestock from the potentially infected with foot and mouth disease.
The line is also reinforced as a requirement to export meat to the EU and America. Although Namibian society is raising objections to this fence as it divides the country into the poor north and the rich south.
It is not allowed to bring from the north to the south any animals, animal products, or plants. Our freezer was checked and our biltong supply confiscated.
Aquí es todo el setup de los electrónicos que tenemos que cargar todo en las noches y con tanta cosa, esto es como un... Entonces pues así lo hacemos.
Desert-dwelling elephants are notoriously difficult to spot as they roll around in the desert dust. They are very shy and have poor eyesight, but have excellent hearing and a terrific sense of smell. Thus, they frighten easily.
These massive beasts traverse huge distances on a daily basis, covering up to 70 kilometers a day in search of water and food in the sparse and stark landscapes they have made their homes. The extent of the seasonal travels and home ranges of Namibia's desert-dwelling elephants is probably the greatest ever recorded for African elephants.
It is more a matter of luck than anything else that will determine whether we find one today.
Qué bárbaro, Lavinia es una vaga. Pero tenemos todo. Allá al fondo son las regaderas. She's in.
The Damara Living Museum is quite an experience, as if we were visiting an archaeological museum, except we were observing living people enacting their culture. Their language makes heavy use of click consonants.
So you use those clicks for different.
Yeah. Like for example, if I say, you see, if I say, that's him. Him, it's let's. You see, let's.
Yeah.
So without this one, it's no meaning.
Oh, and so he needs the click.
So we need to click over here.
Oh, okay.
Then it's him.
Oh, okay.
Tuaskan kau tak kening amro bani ti unga chini kururu bat bai chau chau muchat mani amro bat bai chau chau ti tak kuna ran bau. So chaura isting nasa ik an kada ke man mara kabang ai sara kau se daga chaura istai guna ku ka omdra mara de. Jaisa ari di diam. And this was the bigger test for the young guys. Young boy, if he cannot make a fire, if he cannot hunt, no wife for him to get married. Yeah. No hunting, no fire making, no woman, no cry. Go. What? Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. That little hole is enough to make it.
This is sodalit.
Sodalit.
Yeah, soda like this. This green is Florida.
No, moment. Okay, you go ahead.
Okay.
Where is
The green, we are finished, yeah?
Yeah.
Then you come here.
Yeah.
This green is Florida.
chlorine? And the water? Show me the water.
This is quartz.
So you say there's a drop there? Show me the drop.
Yeah, quartz with bubble.
What's it with bubble?
Yeah, with the bubble inside.
Yeah. Okay.
And this
And
is
the pink?
Is rose and quartz.
Rose and quartz.
Yeah, rose quartz.
Wow.
Rose quartz.
Very nice.
And this is Macalanos.
Why is it so?
And
Let me see, one moment. Este lugarcito con todo el confort. Va a haber barbecue esta noche.
Spitzkoppe was formed around 130 million years ago through volcanic activity. It is not a mountain forced up out of rock, but rather a mountain consisting of granitic magma that formed and hardened below the surface of the 500 plus million year old Damara Mountains. The Klein Spitzkoppe mountain was gradually exposed to daylight in the subsequent millions of years by erosion processes, leading to the formation of Inselbergs.
Over time, as the Damara mountain was eroded away by water, sun, and wind, the granite Inselbergs of Spitzkoppe began to finally show through. The granite was more weather resistant than the surrounding rocks, so it rose in height relative to its surroundings. As its surroundings were eroded away, it resulted in fascinating rock formations. was Spitzkop.
¿Qué les parece? ¿Qué les parece?
Frío. Vámonos al desierto.
We are heading south into the Namib. Sandwich Bay, known for its lagoon, Sossusvlei, at the heart of the Namib Desert, Luderitz, a small coastal town situated in one of the least hospitable coasts in Africa, and Fish River Canyon, near the Orange River at the border with South Africa.
Jackal. Lots of jackals here.
The waters of southwestern Africa are some of the most biologically productive in the world. Flowing along the coast of South Africa, Namibia, and Angola, the Benguela Current is the eastern boundary of a large gyre in the South Atlantic Ocean.
When the Orange River is in flood and it reaches the ocean, it's taking a lot of sand with it. The sea current, the Benguela sea current, is running very close to the shoreline. With wind and the current, they bring the sand here. These dunes, we say it's about 1 million years old. Diverse dunes. These dunes are changing with the wind. Don't think you come here today and drive the same way as tomorrow if the wind was blowing. Because the dune change. A dune like this can move from 50 meters to 500 meters in 1 year.
50 to 100 meters.
Those dunes, when they used to stay people in Sandwich Harbour, used to be 150 to 200 meters away from the ocean. Now when the tide is high, it's going to the ocean.
Oh, wow. Sand, wind, and waves set the scene along the coast, driving the evolution of the Namib hinterland. The quickest way to Sesriem is to stay on the C14, but we are taking a detour through Homeb, taking the D-1983 along the Kwiseb River. This usually dry river marks the northernmost edge of the Namib Desert and acts as a barrier for Swakopmund against the slow-moving dunes of the desert.
Out of the clouds.
red dunes at the Sossusvlei are some of the most impressive natural treasures of Namibia. With a relative height of about 375 meters above the Soushab River, these dunes are amongst the highest in the world. Below the current dune field lays the Sondab sandstones, which are about 20 million years old. This sandstone represents the petrified dunes of an ancient Namib. Thus, the desert of Sossusvlei lies on the petrified evidence of an even older desert. After good rains, the Soushab River collects in spaces in underlying sandstones and is funneled along old river courses, flowing underneath the dunes to the coast. These subsurface rivers explain the freshwater occurrences along the Namibian coast, such as the Sandwich Bay Lagoon. Close to Sossusvlei lies Dead Vlei, or Dead Marsh. The Vlei is a clay pan characterized by dark, dead camel thorn trees, contrasted against the white pan floor. The pan was formed when the Soushab River flooded and abundance of water allowed camel thorn trees to grow. The climate changed and the sand dunes encroached on the pan, blocking the river from reaching the area. The trees are estimated to be 900 years old. However, they have not decomposed due to the dry climate. In the 15th century, the Portuguese looked for bays where they could protect their ships in the long circumnavigation of the African continent. The southwestern coast between Angola and South Africa is particularly forbidding, named Skeleton Coast for the bones of whales and shipwrecks found on its beaches. They found Angra Pequena, which was later renamed Luderitz Bay, in the 19th century after a German trader who had settled in the area. In 1883, the trader Luderitz had concluded treaties with neighboring local chiefs who permitted him to establish a trading post in exchange for guns and other goods. Fearing the post could be taken over by Britain, who had taken over the Cape Colony from the Dutch, Luderitz decided to offer his property rights to the Imperial German government. This is how, in 1884, Bismarck, the German Chancellor, proclaimed a protectorate over the trading post and the surrounding area. One day, while working on the small railway line connecting Luderitz with the interior of the country, diamonds were found. The deposits were so rich that miners would often pick up diamonds from the valley floor. For 100 million years, the Orange River had been carrying eroded diamondiferous material from its source in central southern Africa. During this long journey, the stones were subjected to abrasion over and over again. Consequently, only the best gems, without inclusions, flaws, or imperfections, survived. German miners came in droves to search for diamonds, and many became rich. They built Kohlmannscope and brought over from Germany every comfort, including a power station, a school, a casino, a theater that could be used as a sports hall, and even an ice factory. Water, which was brought by rail from 120 kilometers away, was pumped into storage tanks for daily use by inhabitants, as well as for the care of their gardens with trees, manicured lawns, and rose beds. In the middle of the desert, today, many buildings still conserve their original Edwardian structure and paintings. In 1914, as World War I erupted and after 7 million carats of diamonds were mined in the region, diamond mining was halted for nearly a year. By then, South African forces had conquered the region, ending the German rule over southwestern Africa. Hastening the town's demise was the 1928 discovery of the richest diamond-bearing deposits ever known on the beach terraces 270 kilometers south of Kohlmannscope, near the Orange River. of the town's inhabitants then joined the rush and left to the south, leaving their homes and possessions behind. Today, life exists solely in the form of isolated stunted shrubs, eking out to living. The only sound is the wind blowing fine desert sands through the town, working their way into the abandoned houses.